Welcome to The Locker, Season 2, Episode 29. I am a White. We have a guest host in the building, not a first-timer, but a guest host nonetheless. Michael Bennett from Just the Cats Radio. How's it going, Michael?
I'm doing fantastic, Anthony. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Whenever I can pull through my schedule and carry out my assignment and get you on as you were supposed to be 2 weeks ago. Hey.
Yeah, I think that was intentional, if you ask me, Anthony. This was all intentional to get back at me because, I like to have a little fun and make fun of you and Van.
It might have been Van more than anything. Maybe Van knew you were going to come on, and Van erased my iPhone notes. So it took that.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, so you're going to blame Van now on all this.
Hey, if it goes wrong on here, it's typically Van's fault. If it goes wrong, it's Van. It's on Van, man.
There you go. What's going on tonight?
Well, just the normal old. I think we're gonna get into a little bit of UK football draft opportunities. We haven't done a whole lot of talk, and I don't know if you have any insight on a little bit more on spring. You did have Stoops and Merrill on, so a little bit kind of things that went on spring football. Talk about some of the guys leaving UK basketball. And I thought that they had inked the deal with Orlando coming back. I thought that was already inked. So obviously that's not. We'll talk about that. UK volleyball. I don't know if you heard this or not. They won the national championship.
That's shocking. I haven't heard that.
and then we'll probably see if you got a take on the Derby, because Derby weekend is always my birthday weekend because my birthday is May 1st.
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh, happy birthday. Maybe I'll even sing the second verse of Happy Birthday to you if you know what the second verse is.
I don't know the second verse, although I did hear that the whole thing was the Happy Birthday song came from Kentucky, written by two Kentucky sisters.
Yeah. I believe they were nuns, if I'm correct. But yes,
they didn't have on hairdressing. They had on hairdressing on the photo I saw. Okay,
so there you go. They're nuns.
So the second verse, I'm assuming it's all clean version.
You heard wrong then. I won't sing it to you. I'll sing it when we're off the air. Then how's that?
Oh man, if you're not gonna embarrass yourself in front of all the people, I don't. Hey, I don't want you singing to me one-on-one, man.
Anthony, I embarrass myself 8 in the morning till 9 in the morning every single day, Monday through Friday on Just the Cats. So, I'm not afraid to embarrass myself.
Yeah, well, tell the people a little bit about. You've been on here before. Just the Cats has a nice following as well, and I know you have some great guests on there. Tell us so that when we get started and we keep talking about your show and keep talking about the dude, and people will kind of know what's going on, but kind of fill everybody in so they'll kind of know what you actually do.
Well, I myself and a guy by the name of Shannon the Dude is my co-host. We have a show called Just the Cats, 8 till 9 in the morning Eastern. In Louisville, it's on WKJK, but we're on a few other stations throughout the state. Or if you have iHeartRadio app, or you want to get on WKJK.com, you can listen to us live streaming through those different outlets, and we like to have a little fun. So we're on typically right before Tom Leach. Although a couple other stations we come after Tom Leach, if you can believe that. But it's us, and then Tom Leach, and then that other show called KSR. I can't remember the host of that show's name, but it just escaped me. It's something Jones. But anyway, that's what we do, 8 till 9 in the morning. And Shannon Dude is my co-host. We have a great time. It's a ridiculous show, and we take nothing serious. So just kind of like with you and Van. Y'all don't take each other seriously, correct? Exactly. That's what I thought. That's the best answer you could ever given me.
Hey, the one thing I don't think people realize about that, one of us may not take it serious, but one of us is damn serious. 90% of the time.
Look at this guy, John Lopez, is saying, "What the hell is Michael Bennett doing on here?" Listen, I don't know. I think they tried to get rid of me because I was supposed to be on here 2 weeks ago, and Anthony just kind of messed up. But anyway,
no, I think Van cleaned out my what's up, Carter? Calls you Mikey. Oh, so you go by the nickname of Mikey.
oh my gosh, there's only two people that call me that, and that's my nieces. My niece Anna and my niece Ashley are the only two that are allowed to call me Mikey. Other than that, no, I don't like being called Mikey.
Oh, okay.
I go
Just
by
like I
Michael.
don't like being called Tony.
I bet you don't. So yeah, I go by Michael. But there's a couple of people. I know if you've known me a long time, you'll call me Mike. And usually people from years ago, growing up, that knew me, they'd call me Mike. And then when I got to high school, I started being called Michael, and I kind of liked it, and it's just kind of kept on for there. Although when I see Vince Morrow or Mark Stoops, they call me Mike, and it's no big deal. Just call me whatever you want, as long as you remember my name. So I don't have a problem with it.
Good deal, man. Good deal. All right. Well, speaking of Vince, is it Mero or Morrow?
Morrow. Yeah, it's, believe it or not, this is funny. And Vince is never, it's just kind of like I never correct people. Hey, it's Michael, not Mike. It's funny. Vince, I've always called Vince Morrow. The entire time I've known him, it's always been Vince Morrow. But if you listen to his voicemail on his phone, yeah, it's Boat Boy. But it's Vince Morrow. So it's like, oh my gosh. Shane and I had this discussion a couple of weeks ago. We've been calling Vince the wrong name for years, but it's Vince Morrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now I know that. I've always, I guess from Ohio, I thought maybe it was a Southern Midwest thing where the dialect may change or whatever. But if he wants to be called Morrow, then I'll call him Morrow. Speaking of Vince and I guess we'll be on first name basis. Mark and Vince, you talked to, and what are before I get any questions, what are your takeaways of the spring when you talk to those guys? What did you take away? Specifically, quarterback battle. I'm sure Chris Rodriguez is doing his thing. Is he happy with the defense? Is the offensive line coming along, patching up the holes that the guys left? And the biggest two things, if you have any insight on, is the receivers. I know everybody's going to say Wan'Dale Robinson, oh, he looks great, and then maybe he did. But outside of him, is anything going on? What's going on with quarterback battle? And basically, how does they feel like the offensive line is coming together?
Yeah, it's funny. I asked Mark that question, several of those questions last week when he was on with me on Just the Cats. Yeah, I mean, as far as wide receivers, because there's two places I'm really worried about, Anthony, when it comes to UK football coming this fall. It's obviously the defensive backs, because we're losing Kelvin Joseph, Jamin, as I like to say, Jamin Davis, because he's jamming right now as far as getting ready for the NFL draft. But Jamin Davis, and I'm a little concerned with those filling those positions in. But Mark Stoops is very confident, as he always is. And the older he gets at this job, and more tenure he gets at UK, you can kind of see the swagger and confidence that he has as a head coach, and now with the manpower he's got within UK football. I mean, it's not just. You remember years ago? I mean, we would have one player, and then the backups would be somewhat questionable. And now it seems not only do we have backups to the starting players, but we have backups to the backups. So we got plenty of manpower, and that's one of the things that Mark Stoops made clear last week. Is that listen? We got, we've had a couple of injuries in the spring practice. We got next man up. And Jamin Davis was one of those guys, we thought Chris Oates was going to be the man, and look what happened. And Jamin Davis comes in, and he's going to be one of the top gets in the NFL draft. So that shows you right there. They know how to recruit. They know how to get people that you might not hear of in the recruiting world. But then when they get to Kentucky, they get them ready.
Yeah, that was one thing I've said about Stoops for a while. When the first 2 or 3 years, he started off, the first year, he dealt with what he had and kind of getting his feet wet in the head coaching game. The second year, I thought years 2, 3, and 4, I thought he made some significant decisions that I think hurt the team, or just because he wasn't polished enough to know certain coaches. And I've always said certain coaches, if you go into a situation where it's a 2-point conversion, there's certain coaches are going for 2. You know, there's certain coaches that are going for 4th and 1, 4th and 2 in the fourth quarter. So there's certain things, and Stoops was I think he was doing what the people wanted, the fan base wanted him to do. And now you're absolutely right. The longer he's been here, he's getting more comfortable in interviews on telling what he feels and not talking about what he wants to talk about, not have to sugarcoat anything. I mean, avoidance may be the issue, but it's just not. I got to say what is going to make the fan base happy, and I'm happy he's getting settled in. But he's come a long way as a coach. And, I'm kind of proud, being a part of Big Blue Nation that he's cutting his teeth with us. So wherever it happens, there were years when we got to get rid of Stoops, and then the very next year, how are we going to keep him? But I don't think he'll be here his entire much longer. Not for any negative reasons, but I think somebody's going to steal him away because now he's polished and groomed at being a head coach. He may go to somewhere that's a destination spot.
Maybe.
In a short time.
Yeah, you could be right, but I'm not willing to say that yet. I think he has a comfort level with UK, with Lexington, with the staff that is around. I think that's a huge tribute to Mark, is the fact that look at all the staff that has been around him for a long time. And even when somebody leaves, I mean, I'm so happy, and so is Vince, and you can see the shine in Mark Stoops' smile when he talks about Lee Cohen. I mean, that's a huge hire right there. Now, going back to wide receiver, we're going to have some other players come in here, and they're going to make a difference on the wide receiver because that's the one huge missing link as far as I'm concerned. I think if Vince tells me right, which, Vince can kind of tell you one thing, but sometimes means another thing, and I love Vince for that. But I think maybe this is the year we start seeing the year of the tight end. So maybe we start passing some balls to the tight end for once. But as far as quarterback, with the exception of Will Levis, who hasn't gotten on campus yet, he's the Penn State transfer quarterback coming down. I have been told, of course, the media wasn't allowed to go to any practices, but I have been told by inside sources that there is a clear separation between Bo Allen and Joey Gatewood. And the lean is heavy towards Joey Gatewood. Yeah,
that's what I've heard. And the only reason I give a grimace or a look of discern or concern, whichever one, everybody I've talked to, I've had on the show, the local people who've seen Bo play has said that Bo is NFL talent. And the only other person I've heard come in, well, I think they kind of say that about people that come in, but the only bona fide person that I heard the entire collection of everybody that I've listened to was Tim Couch. That they said this guy's NFL level, and he was the first pick overall. But you kind of heard that about Patrick Towles a little bit. Drew Barker maybe, and there's been a few quarterbacks we brought in that they're going to kind of be the next Tim Couch to do things Tim Couch did. But there's been some people
Andre Woodson.
Yeah. There's been some people.
You're right. You're right.
Both going to be NFL material.
But isn't it nice, though, that we've got so many choices at quarterback? I mean, you look at it's like, holy cow, 5 years ago, would you have ever figured that a quarterback from Penn State would have transferred to Kentucky? I would have said, you're an idiot, and I would have laughed you out of my room. There is no way I would have thought that. And now here we are.
I may have thought that a while ago. But when we took Drew Barker from Steve Spurrier, I knew anything was possible.
Okay, fair enough.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, please. Listen, I feel like I'm at home with my wife cutting me off like that, so don't worry about it. But I think at quarterback, I hear what you're saying, and a lot of the people that are saying that kind of stuff really want to see, one of our homeboys go out there and play. And of course, Drew's from, not Drew Barker, but Bo Allen from Lexington, and we want to see him play right now. But you know what? If we got the time, if Joey Gatewood is that much better that I'm being told, and his passing has improved drastically, I say let's play him, and then and have another year with Bo Allen in the book, so that we can have him for an extra year. So I say let's go ahead and do the Joey Gatewood thing, and if it doesn't work out, then we got a couple more solid choices. And don't forget, there's Nick Scalzo back there in the background too.
Well, let me put you on the hot seat then, because now you confusing everybody, and I want everybody. It's everything you're saying is on point. What I've been hearing, and I have no problem with what you're saying. Everybody's is this. I hate quarterback controversy. As a player and as an analyst, I hate quarterback controversies, because I've been in a lot of positions where I had to prove myself over and over and over again to a person that got multiple opportunities, and I may have gotten a single opportunity, and it's not fair. It's absolutely, you already know who you want. So just pick the damn person and let them play. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But no, I say this.
You sound like Dante Allen on a Cal's basketball team.
Hey. Dante Allen got in there and balled out. Well, I don't know.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I spoke on Dante Allen's situation specifically about my situation. I spoke on that.
Did you really? Good for you.
Yeah. On Sunday morning, I spoke on that, and they were saying, well, I said, no, I'm not trying to hear this stuff. He's not doing this in practice. The dude, they said he hit 12 threes or whatever in an open scrimmage. He hit however many in a game. In his first appearance. That's not a fluke. In your first appearance, you're gonna be nervous. Yeah, you're gonna be a little bit hyped up, but that's not a fluke. If you hit 7, 8 threes in a game and you haven't been, now you come in, you get a bunch of steals and get beat off the dribble a lot. Now that's more of a first game type of action if you're not supposed to be on that level. But let me get back to the point. The point is, I don't like controversy, because that's the head of the snake. The quarterback operates everything that goes on the field for the offense and the defense. If the quarterback goes 3 and out continuously, it affects the defense. So the quarterback is the head of everything. The issue is what you said with the people are, and even Larry Balk questioned it.
Larry who? Wait, Larry who? I'm not familiar with that name.
Come on, man. Come on. Hey, if you don't know that name, we got to click you off of here. If you don't know that name,
I just love giving him a hard time.
But the thing is, if Joey Gatewood is beating out Bo now, and I said I want you to just pick a quarterback, what you said is what I would go with. If Bo is the winner, or if Joey is the winner right now, then have Joey go into the fall as the leader. But when Levis gets here in the summer, if he shows, because this is not the read option. Maybe if you give Joey an assignment here, read, and release the ball, maybe Joey's better with that. That read option has too many components to make a play successful. This pro set is this going to happen, this going to happen. You should do this. Like there's no is black and white. You determine if he made the right decision or not. There's no gray areas. So I'm saying pick up, but the feedback I'm getting from other people, well, we got to wait to see what Levis is going to be. They wouldn't bring Levis here if they didn't think he can play. So from what you said, fine. Let's let Joey go in there. He's clearly beat out Bo, but they're saying no. We need to let this thing go through fall, and I don't like going through 4 weeks in the fall with the quarterback looking over his shoulder, sharing reps for 4 weeks, and we're trying to prepare for the first game, because when we get into the second and third game, now you're only 7 weeks, almost 2 months, where, okay, now you may have figured it out, but if it happens to be Levis, now he's, kind of out of reps because you're sharing reps. When I played, Tim Couch got 90% of the reps. Yeah. 90%. Yeah. When the whistle is about to blow, the other quarterback may get 1 or 2 plays.
But was Tim Couch healthy the entire season for the most part?
Yeah, he was healthy my entire career.
Exactly. That's my entire point right there. Because what happened 2 years ago, how many quarterbacks did we go through? I mean, we went through 3 quarterbacks, and guess what? I don't think 5 quarterbacks are enough right now. We got to make sure, because it's not like that big blue wall wasn't protecting the quarterback. It was just a fluke play that it was Eastern Michigan or Central Michigan, I forget which team it was, that put down Terry Wilson for the rest of the season. But you know what? And we got to make sure we can have a quarterback backed up, and another quarterback backing up. So we just got to make sure we have these quarterbacks. So I'm okay with what they're doing. It's not because somebody said a little bit ago you can't let a recruit dictate who the quarterback's going to be, and I agree, you can't. And I don't think they are. Listen, they want to have. It has come to a point now, and this is where I think Vince Morrow wants to make certain it happens. And Mark Stoops, he understands. They all understand. The next step for UK football, Anthony, is to get to the championship game.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't think they have a problem with that. I just think a lot of people kind of concerned and worry about if we make the wrong decision and we ride with it too long. Because, okay, so say.
Well, that's happened before, too. You're exactly right.
Oh,
you're exactly right. That happened about 3 or 4 years ago. We went too long. And, in fact, I asked the question to Mark Stoops one day, and people have given me a hard time about it. It's like, okay, is it time to start thinking about a brand new offense for UK football? And you're right. I think Mark Stoops has gotten to a point he is comfortable to make those changes. You know, at one point, he was having a hard time with game time management. I think he has been proved drastically with that. Yeah. And so anyway, he can obviously motivate a team because these teams have come into games where, quite honestly, they probably should have lost. And 9 times out of 10 in the past, they would have lost. But they know how to motivate these teams and get them playing at the level they should be playing, and sometimes even exceeding that level.
So,
man, you got me preaching now. Oh my gosh!
Hey, no, that's
I'm
what
waiting for an amen in a little bit.
Hey, I asked the questions, and I just want honest opinions from people that I know have been around the people with the answers, or can dictate a good answer themselves.
Well, you know, I'm passionate about UK football. I mean, if you want to talk about one thing I'm absolutely passionate about, it is UK football. Don't get me wrong, I love UK basketball, but I've always probably put football on a different level over basketball. I just always expected UK basketball to win. It was tough being a fan for years for UK football. And I want to make sure once they became successful, I'm still a fan. So, yeah, very much so. And that way you get to enjoy it a little more when that happens.
All right, so you're from what you heard, and say you had to make a choice, put some money on it, or you had to go on air live and what you are now and give an opinion. You say we go with Joey Gatewood and just keep Levis as a backup, or you think Levis can jump him in the summer when there's really no true liability?
I think you answered the question yourself a little earlier. I mean, it's tough for Will Levis to come in there in the summertime and within 4 weeks he's a starting quarterback. I think that's a tough deal. Now, if it doesn't work out with Joey Gatewood the first 2 or 3 games and he's underperforming, then yeah, I think you got another competition between Bo Allen and Will Levis. And Will Levis could step in with another 2 or 3 weeks under his belt and practice at UK, then yeah, he probably could. But as far as the starting game, if you're asking me right now, Anthony, who's going to start the very first game this coming fall, it's going to be Joey Gatewood. I definitely put money down on that.
Okay.
So you want to bet me dinner?
Nope. Because I eat finicky. Because I eat finicky, man. I'm like a chicken salad type dude, man.
That's okay. We'll bring you a chicken salad, but you're buying me dinner somewhere.
No, because that's not far-fetched. All right, I'm gonna take you here. Now some of these questions might get you some dinner. I'm gonna stay off topic for a while. We got to rush those last topics in if we can get them. Because you're so passionate and you want to bet people dinners and shit. Listen, here we go. No, here we go.
I'm ready.
You're talking about Joey Gatewood being the starting quarterback. I want to ask you this.
All right.
How much blame do you give Darren Henshaw for the lack of production at that position? Because you said when people don't get in, we need to see what Levis can do. We need to see what Bo can do. But if we're in the middle of the season, it's hard to groom them. I saw Gilmore leave. Yeah. I saw Scalzo try to leave. I don't remember the kid from Akron, Hoban. They went to Akron Hovind. Danny Clark leave. I saw tons of quarterback leave because they couldn't compete. But the quarterbacks we had playing weren't getting the job done either.
No.
I think at a certain point, I will point my damn finger on one person who has a point with all of them. The same way I do in the receivers room. But I don't think there's enough credit given to Henshaw. And I think Henshaw probably needs to go. But the loyalty factor told offensive coordinator
Eddie Gran,
that Eddie Gran wasn't going to do that to him. And I see that a lot of times.
Yeah, and that makes you feel like the reason Eddie Gran was gone is because he was supporting Darren Henshaw too much. And so guess what? Guilty by association, and they both have to go. I still think it's a shame. I ran into Eddie Gran last week, and I'm trying to get him to come on Just the Cats with me. And I feel bad for him because, let's be honest, the realistic side of me says, Anthony, that if it was a non-COVID year last year, we would have definitely won 7 or 8 games. Fair enough? And if that is the case...
Because you put in 4 more cupcakes.
Exactly. And do you fire an offensive coordinator that has a 7 or 8 game winning season? No, you don't. And I've even had inside guys tell me he wouldn't have been gone if that was the case.
But let me ask you this. Do you think 7 or 8 games would have been good for last year if you look at our offense being inept? 100 and some yards of offense?
Yeah, I think it's okay. I mean, just okay. We're at a point now, and I think this is going to be a telling year, that this year with the line, that offensive line that we continue to have, bar none, we have probably one of the best running backs in the country out of Chris Rodriguez. So C-Rod right there, you got some of the best tight ends that are underutilized. Listen, this is a big year for UK, and it's going to be a big step for them to succeed. I'll be disappointed if it's less than 8 games that they win in regular season.
Well, okay, Michael. I see you escaping all my questions. I'm going to keep bringing out the big guns. Well, I'm going to ask you this.
All right, I'm ready.
You don't think it? I don't think it was fireable. I think Eddie Gran is genius in with the cards he's been dealt. Some of the times he was here,
absolutely.
I thought, instead of making lemonade, I thought he made Jesus juice when he was giving lemonade.
He was making the holy water, is what you're telling me.
Hey man, he pulled some stuff out. But have you ever thought about?
Keep in mind, because you're right about that, Anthony. Year before last, when Lynn Bowden became the quarterback, he threw out the entire playbook and wrote a completely new one. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. And that's why I was sorry to see him go. But on the other hand, you look at what we have now, there's got to be some excitement deep, deep, deep down in yourself that says, okay, this is going to be a fun year with Liam Cohen.
Oh, I'm damn excited.
Okay.
But I'm trying to speak. You're like, man, you want to throw words out there and see if they stick. This is what I want to ask you. From you and your buddies who were saying, well, if it had not been a COVID year and we went 8-4 or 7-5, okay, so you say 8-4 means we win 4 out of conference games. We can leave the schedule the way it is. Well, because we don't have to lose to Alabama at that point, and we don't have to lose to.
Yeah, but you look at that. Hold on now. I know we would have still lost to Alabama probably, but we were down how many players during that game? That's a tough game to say.
Wait, you're not listening.
Okay, I'm ready.
You gotta become a better listener, Michael. Michael, listen. I ain't get my point out yet. My point
I'm sorry.
What happened in 19, which was a Benny Snell show.
Yep.
Which happened in 20, which was a Lynn Bowden show. How do you think recruiting was going as far as our weakest position at receiver and possibly quarterback and possibly running backs?
It's hard.
How do you think our recruiting was going?
It's not good.
So when you guys are saying, well, if it would have been a COVID year, he wouldn't have got fired because we would have been 8-4. I absolutely cannot say I don't buy that. I'm not selling that. I'm not selling it. But I think the bigger thing was we had 2 years of offense. Now, although it was creative under Lynn Bowden, under Lynn Bowden quarterback.
Yeah.
But the next year we tried 3 different quarterbacks, couldn't get nothing. If I'm a receiver, matter of fact, on this show we talked to one of the best recruits in the state that plays receiver, and his decision is based off of how productive the passing game is going to be this year.
Yeah.
Because the dad which I played with doesn't want his son coming here stalk blocking.
Yeah. I understand. And wasn't there a U of L recruit, too, that had committed to Kentucky, and then he changed his mind because he saw that we just don't throw the ball? And I don't blame him. And he kind of threw a cutout on Twitter to UK because of the fact that why would any receiver go to UK? I understand. But we just didn't have the ability to. When you get a wide receiver that's turned into your quarterback, you can't pass the ball. When he succeeded as much as he did by running the ball, why risk making a mistake? So I thought it was a good call to have Lynn Bowden run majority of the time or give it to one of the running backs. It worked for the most part every single time.
But then you come back next year.
Yeah, it's tough.
And the BS I'm not buying is, we couldn't throw the ball. I've coached some kids. I'm not going to give any details. I coached some kids, and I kept telling. I ran the play 5 times in a row because I'm saying throw the ball to him. Throw the ball to him. He drops back, pump faking, throw the ball. I'm not calling another player until you throw the ball to him. It was a pick six. It was a pick six. But why the hell are you scared to throw it to him? Or why are you holding it? But the point was that the coach we got from the coaches, the throws weren't there. A fade route is always there because if you throw it right, the only thing that can happen is going to be a pass breakup or it's out of bounds. If you throw it inside too much, it could be an interception. But not throwing it is not really an option.
Right.
And we got that a lot of times. So I didn't really understand that when they said, we wanted to throw the ball, but we couldn't. I'm like, you dropped back. So what were you planning on doing with the ball after you dropped back and it wasn't a run?
Yeah, I hear you.
But
it was a frustrating year. I mean, all around. At least it ended with a bowl win over Virginia Tech. That was I think that was a positive that carried over to the next year. And of course, we had an okay season last year, but again, it ended with a positive by beating a ranked North Carolina State team. So that's a positive. So I just try to look at those positives and then hope for the next year. I know I love looking at pie in the sky. But because one of these years it's going to happen. It just is. I'm going to get my peach pie up there, and I'm going to enjoy it with a little vanilla Haagen-Dazs on top.
Yeah, we're supposed to. Everybody has us this year. Supposed to make we going us in Georgia for the West. Us in Georgia for the West.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Especially if we got 100% of the crowd at Commonwealth. Man, if we do that and we have Georgia at home again, the crowd's really into it. Man, I think this team is starting to see, okay, UK shouldn't be an underdog. And you're going to see a lot of the national media and the Southeastern Conference media start picking Kentucky because they're starting to buy into the hype. It's not just the fan base. It's the media as well. I mean, I did a radio show, ESPN, down in Savannah, Georgia last week, and they wanted to talk about nothing but UK football. And they're hearing down in their area, they're starting to buy into the UK hype. So that tells you right there, there's other people within the conference that are starting to believe that Kentucky's legitimate.
Oh, yeah, I think there are people, like I said, we got to prove it. And I thought we left a few games on the table because we didn't come through offensively enough to keep the defense fresh and, put enough pressure on the other team. So that's why I wasn't –
Ole Miss, Missouri. I mean, those are 2 games last year that stick out. For some reason, we screw up 1 or 2 games a year. I mean, in 18, with that huge team we had in 18, with Josh Allen, Benny, and all those players, that Tennessee game was just a mystery to me.
Oh yeah. And that I think we may have gotten over that hump because we've shown that we can, win down there or whatever. But let me go back into the whale, man. Everybody's asking me this question. I'm just passing on the questions that's been asked to me so other people can get a different perspective, opinion from what I saw. Owensboro High School quarterback, Williamsack.
Yeah.
Did we miss out? Did we lose out? Was no big deal? Did we not really want him? Did we need him?
That's a mystery to me. And why does he pick Rutgers? I mean, that's the part I don't. I like that right there. Thank you, Coach. Why would a player like him? There's a lot of questions, and honestly, Anthony, I don't think I can answer. Did we miss out on a potentially good quarterback? Yes. What I want to see happen at Kentucky is every great player from the state of Kentucky needs to come to Kentucky to play. And so I think the Vince, ever since he took over Louisville, he's dominated. And so you can't really criticize. Yeah, we missed out on a player, but you know what? Look at Jagger Burton, look at Bo Allen, look at all these other players. The kid out of Cumberland that's coming. I mean, I'm excited about all the recruits that are coming to Kentucky. So, yeah, we might have missed out on him, but am I disappointed? Yeah, I am a little bit, but I'm happy that we got the rest of the players out of the state of Kentucky. So it's not as big a deal.
I don't know what you just did there. I
got a little distracted. My wife was calling me. I'm sorry about that.
No, I mean, that's a good answer. But I don't know, like, exactly if you actually answered the question, if you gave any information.
I didn't. Yeah. Because I don't know how to answer it. I mean, the correct answer is I don't know how to answer it. Again, I'm going to repeat myself, Anthony. Why did he pick Rutgers? I mean, don't you think that's a little odd? I mean, that's just random as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I don't. That was my whole point. I don't like the fact that he chose Rutgers, and we're in the battle. Now if we're in a battle with Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, like Georgia, like we have been with some of these players, okay, I'm fine if you don't choose us. But I'm saying, well, if we lose a player to Kent State University or
there's a problem.
Cincinnati, I'm kind of that was my whole point. But a lot of people feel like, well, and I think the other flip side of everything, everybody wants to keep the state happy. Hey, we got to keep the good in-state kids here. I think he was a good in-state kid here for high school football in Kentucky. I'm not sure if he's a good in-state kid to have on our roster to play in the SEC.
Fair enough. I'm selfish. All the great kids here that are great football players, I want to make sure they come to the university, the Commonwealth University. I just want to see that. Now, he might not have played quarterback at Kentucky, but, I mean, he's an athlete, and he'd have been an athlete in Division I. Now, you're right. If you look at Kentucky right now, we're far better program than Rutgers. I mean, to me, it's not even close. And so I'm with you on that. It's like, why are you going to a lesser? That's like saying, I hope my wife's not listening. That's like saying, because she went to Vanderbilt. But it's like saying you're going to Vanderbilt and you're not picking Kentucky. It's like, what are you thinking?
Yeah. I'm hearing good things about Lavelle Wright. And Carter just said that. I've heard some good things. Is he going to leapfrog anybody? Is he going to get up in the man, we got a ton of backs, man.
Yeah, we do. Man. Listen, I don't know if he's going to leapfrog or not. He certainly has just as good a chance as anybody else. Maybe not this year, but listen, I'm excited because he's going to be in there and he's going to get a lot of minutes on the field. So I'm with you, and I think ACC is the most overrated conference out there, basketball and football. But as far as Wright, I think he's going to be out there. But anyway, what are you covering your eyes for? Come on, man. I give you that in football, but I can't co-sign. I don't want people calling in my show because a guest on here said the ACC was overrated in basketball. that one I can't even. Wait a minute, they are overrated. They definitely are. Are you kidding me?
Do they underachieve at times? Maybe, but I don't think they're overrated, man.
Oh, I do. I think they are not the dominating conference they once were. I think the SEC is equal, and they haven't surpassed them yet, but I think the SEC will surpass them because look at the coaching hires we have here. I mean, I can't believe you're giving me these looks. I'm right about this. Just listen to me. But what did the Pac-12 do in the tournament this year? They did pretty good. What did the Big 12 do in the tournament this year? They did pretty good. I would pick those two conferences far more than I'd pick the ACC this year.
So year in and year out, you're picking the field against North Carolina, Duke, Louisville.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Yes.
Throw Syracuse in. I'll throw Syracuse in there just a little tad bit. Is Notre Dame ACC in basketball? Or are they big
in basketball, not in football? Yeah. I don't see the smoke coming out of your mouth, but are you smoking something over there? I mean, come on, Anthony. You got to give me a break. You mean little Chrissy Mack is going to be coaching better than some of these other teams? The guy at Baylor, Bill Self at Kansas. Give me a break. No. And North Carolina just hired an assistant coach. Now, okay, you got me right there. Florida State is probably the only team I would say is really oh, come on. I love your looks. You don't say anything. You just look at me like I'm ridiculous. All right. You don't like Leonard Hamilton? I love Leonard Hamilton.
I can't co-sign on none of it. But you just sounded it's different if you say how about this? Like when I make you sound a lot like Van. Like you're determined and you're steadfast and
but I'm better looking than Van. So at least you got something good to look at. So my face is a lot prettier than Van Howell.
I don't judge men, man.
Not your style, huh?
No, that ain't what I do, man. Where we at? Yeah, we got 15 minutes. I'm just trying to move on to the we have some coaching changes. Joel Justice and was Tony Barbie. Yeah, Tony Barbie.
Yep.
Is that a big loss, huge loss? Or do you tell me this? Was this part of what Cal was saying at the end of the season? We're gonna have to do some reevaluation and because this was a tough pill. Like I gotta see where we went wrong. Was this part of that process, or it's just kind of these guys were on the staff and other people wanted them?
I think your first comment was right. I didn't sell out for a ham sandwich. Anthony doesn't even get that joke, I bet. But it's okay. But yeah, I listen. I don't have anything to confirm it, but it kind of feels like they Joel Justice especially was kind of pushed out. Tony Barbie's been looking for a job the last 2 or 3 years, so I think the timing was right. Is part of it coincidental? Maybe, but it's time for some changes, and I'm glad to see that Cal and his lifetime contract do something about this. So if the Orlando Antigua thing works out and he gets the other coach coming in from Illinois, listen, I think it's going to be a huge deal. I love Jay Lucas. I think Bruiser Flint's doing a great job, but I tell you what, if you ask me personally who's my favorite, I really like Joel Justice. Joel Justice was a personal friend. I'm sorry to see him go, but I love Jay Lucas. I think he's doing a phenomenal job, and I'm so glad he's a part of UK. If we get Orlando to come back to Kentucky, man, I'm feeling really good about recruiting. So I think basketball, after this deplorable season we just had, I'm going to be looking forward to the next few seasons, and we get back there on top in recruiting and in the rankings, and hopefully for a title.
So what's the holdup? I thought I saw ink being transferred. What is the holdup with
I'd have to say it's the whole Terrence Clark situation.
Okay.
As soon as Cal heard the news about that, he immediately got on a plane as soon as he could and flew out to LA, which I respect that. I mean, I know Cal and I have our differences every now and then, and Cal doesn't like a lot of the questions I ask, but it's the questions I think the fans deserve an answer for. But I certainly respect the fact that even though Terrence wasn't going to play for UK anymore and this whole situation, this unfortunate situation happened, Cal cares enough about his players' family, and that's where I really appreciate a man like that. I mean, he's a good family man on and off the court. I think he's an even better person off the court.
Yeah. I think that's great. Thinking about my career, I don't think I've rarely talked to either one of my college coaches since I left college. But I do. And the funny thing is, the one coach that I played for that I probably have on the show, I probably could get Tony Franklin on here, and I'll probably have him on at some point.
That would be a
Leach,
good get right there. Yeah.
Mike Leach. Wait a minute. Tony Franklin, or you didn't let me finish. Or Mike Leach.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tony Franklin or Mike Leach.
See, I follow Mike Leach on Twitter, and I think he's one of the best follows on Twitter there is. I just saw a tweet he put up today. He went hunting with his cousin or something out there shooting stuff. I love that guy. Mike Leach, if you could ever help me get Mike Leach on my show, I'd do anything for you. But yeah, he's hilarious.
Get Mike Leach on there. Hold on.
All right, let's do that then.
Well, I got to get him on here first, man.
Oh, okay. Get him on there first.
I don't mind getting him on there, but I want to
I
have.
tell you what. We'll kill two birds with one stone. You come host with me when Shannon's on vacation, and bring Mike Leach that day.
Hey, we can do that. We can do that, man. We can do that. But I also get Tony Franklin on as well, because, like I said, that's one of my favorite coaches. Man. I had a great relationship with us, but I don't want to let one thing just trickle down my back that you just said. That you and Cal have differences? How do you have differences with Cal? Who the hell are you to have differences with the mayor of UK campus?
That's true. I guess
differences.
Well, it's just it's just because I ask questions that I think need to be answered, and this was kind of a difficult year. And I'll admit it, I was on the Dante train. And I truly believe that some coaches have bias for other players and then bias against other players as well. And I just felt like there was a bias against Dante Allen, and I just tried to find out why there was.
Yeah, I don't know. I with everything that's going on with Terrence Clark and, kind of the way the season ended, because even that last game we played, Dante Allen was keeping us in the thing. We had we were aggressive at the point guard, and I said this. We were watching it work. Everybody stopped working, and we watched it work. And I think it may have been 5 or 3 minutes left, and we made a change at point guard. This slowed everything down, and they just chipped away. And I think it slowed our momentum, because with I think Mims was at the 1 and Dante was at either the 2 or 3, but everybody was even everybody's playing their game, and we changed momentum at the point guard. And like I said, as a player, I kind of understand. I would hate for everybody involved, because we're gonna get into volleyball next, but I would hate for everybody involved to have to lose a game because you were being loyal to another player. I don't care if you're the first man on the roster or the 12th man on the roster.
Right.
Coach, man, you can let him play next game, but if we got something going, now it's the time for you to be subbing in somebody who you owe minutes to or some limelight.
Hey,
so I'm kind of mixed.
If you're on the floor balling, you need to stay on the floor balling. I mean, that's all I ever thought about, and I never understood. As I hate calling out players, but Devin Askew struggled so much this year, and I didn't understand why he got as many minutes as he did. And of course, Cal said it's because it's the only point guard we got. Well, guess what? Davion Mintz played point guard at Creighton, and Cal said, well, it's because I'm worried we're going to lose points by playing him at point. Well, when Cal finally decided to play Davion Mintz at point, he scored 20 points. It's like, what am I guess I am a basketball Benny. I mean, my last name is Bennett, so I just didn't. I for the life of me, I still don't get it. And if Cal heard this interview, I know he'd get really ticked off at me again. I'm sorry. I didn't get his coaching style this past season. I just didn't. And I know I'm not a Division I coach, not even close. But anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, I can appreciate what you're saying, and I said the same things. I honestly felt like I've talked about this several times on several different shows, more than once on here. But I also said, even what you're saying about you're not sure why Devin Askew was allotted so much time given the turn. Some people will show analytics to say, well, he did this, this, and this. That doesn't have anything to do with tempo all the time. It doesn't have anything to do with tempo, what the other four players are doing on the court. But I felt my biggest concern was I think you put Askew in a bad situation. If there was another option, we should have tried to rotate him and not make Devin Askew take 30, 32 minutes worth of what was going on. It's like having a quarterback in the game and he's getting sacked and flushed out of the pocket every play. Like, if he can't stand there and make the reads, let's get somebody in there who can at least run it. I mean, basically what we did with Lynn Bowden when Sawyer Smith was hurt. Sawyer showed in Florida early he could deliver the ball. He could get it there.
Absolutely.
When he became a sitting duck, it was detrimental to the whole team. So
exactly, yeah. And what was even more detrimental is that Sawyer didn't tell anybody he was hurting. So and Ann's right, it messes up your mojo. You're exactly correct, because you talked about rotation a minute ago. I would rotate Askew to the bench. That's where I'm rotating him and take him out, because you're right. You're right about the momentum. Listen, the momentum goes away when you have a turnover, and guess what? It's going to happen again, and that's what continued to happen game in, game out. Poor Askew, Devin Askew, would just have a turnover, and then I know he was at the bench trying to root everybody else on. He was excited to get into the game, but man, it just didn't work. And don't tell me anymore. I got so tired of hearing, well, he's supposed to be in high school. It's like, okay, but he's still in the game. He's in college now. Quit telling me he's supposed to be in high school. He's in the game. Take him out. But oh well, basketball, Benny.
Wow. National champions. All right.
I like it. Yeah. Are we a volleyball school?
Hey, wait till next week. That's what Larry Vaught will be calling them, man. Larry Vaught will be calling them a volleyball school, man.
Is that Larry Vaught? I'm not familiar with who he is. You'll have to tell me sometime.
Hey, you need to turn on your radio. Hey, just open up your Twitter. Just open up your Twitter, man. Hey,
I'm teasing. He writes for me on justthecats.com. So if you hadn't checked out my website, I love Larry and I love teasing him. But
so did you watch the game, or were you too busy getting your couches moved around so that they're a burnable situation?
Well, here's my problem. Listen. I have really enjoyed getting to know Craig Skinner for the past 3 years, to the point where Craig has become a really good friend of mine. And I love talking to him. I love having him come on the show with me. He was on with me this morning. Well, let me think. My days are running again. Yeah, he was on with me this morning on Just the Cats. And I've never been happier for a coach, for a team. Yes, I tried to watch it, and this happened every single game. As soon as UK went down, and like the championship game, I left. I left. I turned the TV off, and I thought, okay, I got to do something to change this. And it worked every single time during the tournament. As soon as I turned the TV off, I went to Dairy Queen to get me a Blizzard. UK would start winning. So that's exactly what I did. Then I finally got back to a point where Shannon would call me, Shannon the dude, and say, okay, they're about to win. I'd turn the TV on and watch the rest of the game. So that's how I did it the entire time. I recorded it and went back and watched it. But I was really happy for Craig Skinner. What a great guy. Been at UK for 16 years. I think he does a phenomenal job. Obviously, he is clearly the coach of the year, just named it by the American Volleyball Association. And I think he's one of the top coaches that UK has right now. I mean, it's unbelievable the way he recruits. And when he calls, let me tell you, these athletes want to talk to him.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I've had an opportunity to meet Skinner a few times. And he's a genuine. I also thought Matthew Mitchell was a genuine guy. I've never had the chance to meet Cal. I'm around Stoops. And Stoops is a good guy. I mean, I understand, you guys are the big boy sports or whatever. It's kind of hard to get a read on them, and you kind of feel like you bother them. There's been 3 people I really met over there. Mickey DeMoss, man, she fun.
Yeah,
Mickey DeMoss is that's my buddy. Mickey DeMoss, Minjeon was nice, but Skinner
Yes.
took time out and he asked me about myself and, wasn't in any rush. And Rachel Lawson.
Yeah.
Those three coaches, maybe because they're smaller sports, I don't know. But I never had a chance to be around Matthew Mitchell, but watching him from a distance, the way he interacts with those girls and I've heard different, when they had transfer gate going on over there. But it seemed from my perspective that Matthew Mitchell really was in tune. And I get that same vibe from Skinner, man. He's like Larry talked about on Sunday. They had the one year where they allowed the media to come over for media day.
Yeah.
Video interview the players. But while you're doing this, dude, they got drills. Like they got a set drill where they got you put the ball into a basket, then a dig drill where you dig it, then a spike drill. And me and Curtis Burch got involved with it. There's a lot of guys from other media stations got involved with it. And that was neat. Larry said, I didn't know that. That was the first one I went to. And after that, they started rallying and taking off. But just from offer that opportunity, man, he's changed. And one thing, you're right, he is one of the best coaches at Kentucky, probably in Kentucky history, because not only did he win a national championship and brings in freshmen every year that win SEC Freshman Award, but he's changed the culture. There's nothing bigger than changing the culture somewhere.
Well, his promise has been, Anthony, he wants to make certain that volleyball becomes a profitable sport. And I got to tell you, I think he's well on his way to doing that. Talk about Matthew Mitchell a couple of minutes ago. I talked to Coach last night on the phone. I'm not trying to brag about this because I don't think it's anything to brag, but he was the last interview he did with us as the head coach was on Just the Cats. And I talked to Shannon after the show. I said, did he sound okay? And Shannon's like, yeah, I think he sounded okay. And I said, I don't think he did. And then when I talked to him last night, he sounded fantastic. He sounded like his old self, and he was out there ready to go out there and coach again. I'm sorry he's not with the team anymore, because I think you talk about a guy that's a lot of fun to hang out with. That's one of the conversations Shannon and I had a few weeks back. Who are the coaches that you would want to hang out with? Definitely Craig Skinner's up there. Matthew Mitchell is up there. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to differ with you a little bit. I think Mark Stoops is one of those guys I want to go have a beer with. And Mark has been extremely nice to me. He's always talking to me on the sidelines when we were allowed to go on the field. And so he's done a few different things for me, and I've always appreciated that. I mean, there's a famous picture after that Missouri game in 2018 where we meet at midfield after UK had just won that game with us winning when the clock was out. You remember the Missouri game? And I run out to the field, and all of a sudden, here comes Mark Stoops running towards me. And I'm like, what the heck? It's Mark Stoops. He gives me this big hug. And then, of course, the photographer for Missouri took it too late, and it looks like I'm grabbing Mark Stoops, but it was the other way around. But, those are my favorites right there. I haven't gotten to meet Rachel Lawson yet, and hopefully one of these days I'll get you to introduce me.
Two things. One, I'm not absolutely sure. I'm not sure that Mark Stoops wouldn't be a cool person to hang out with. Two, I don't know how you're going to get to hang out with him. I'm not sure if he's going to invite you. But the huge issue I have with you,
maybe I already have. Go ahead.
The huge issue I have with you, this will tell me if you've hang out with him or not. The huge issue I have with you saying hanging out with Mark for a drink or something. If you ever hung out with Mark, it wouldn't be one drink. So I know you haven't hang out with him.
All right, what do you want to talk about next?
If you didn't get the Mickey DeMoss, then you missed out on all of them, man.
Yeah.
That was an experience.
I bet.
Was an experience. So
I bet. Yeah.
Well, see, if I start another topic, you're gonna run me into you're on the beach or something, man. Some of us got jobs to do, man.
Everything's remote, so why not come down to the beach? So that's what I've been doing.
Well, you missed it's been 60 minutes, man. The show is only 60 minutes, man.
Oh my gosh, that was fast. We got to do this again, Anthony. Well, I know when Shannon goes on vacation, I want you to come on with me, and let's get into another argument again, because I love arguing with you.
if you're gonna be saying stuff about coaches that you got beef with, and I don't get the opportunity to get them on here, then hell no. I'm not gonna you gonna mess up my opportunities to get these guys to come on because you what's that you said? You got beef or don't see eye to eye with John Calipari?
I think that's okay, though. Doesn't mean I dislike John Calipari. It just means that, that sometimes we have a disagreement. I just disagreed with some of his coaching this past season, and that's it. But it doesn't mean I dislike him at all.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll be a deal, man. We'll have to get with Mike Leach. I've told him I want him to come on. He told me anytime. I just, how my scheduling is. Everybody wants to be on. Sometimes people don't want to get off. But, you guys have been gracious enough. You guys have been gracious enough to come on anytime I ask, except for maybe catching a flight. There has been 2 times with 2 people, you being one of them, where had to catch a flight and they had to decline. But other than that,
I was getting on the airplane when you called me last. But listen, you called me anytime and asked me last minute, and I got to meet this Coach Truck. Who's Coach Truck? That's one guy I gotta meet that guy. He looks hilarious.
Oh man, if you don't follow, man, do yourself a favor. Go follow Big Things Kentucky. Talk about Hustle Monster. You talk about hustling. Man, these guys, man, they cover middle school, high school. They're really not a collegiate level, but man, they get in the dirt, all sports.
Cool. I will do that then.
Oh yeah. Big Things Kentucky with Big Coach Truck and Buford.
Right.
And, they got a good thing going on, man.
I got your message.
Yeah. All right, Anthony.
Hey, Mike, I appreciate you coming on, man. The next time we
Absolutely.
need a guest host, man, you on speed dial. You definitely on speed dial, man.
That sounds great. Yeah, you let me know anytime, Anthony. I love you, man. Good talking to you tonight.
All right, man. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Take care, Anthony.
All right. All right. This concludes the show. I see Michael is being summoned. I think family questions are coming up. Hey, man. I got you, Truck, man. I got you. Go check him out. Big Things Kentucky on YouTube. Again, we thank Michael for coming on, man. Always a good dude, man. Always been solid. And, tell it like it is. That's one of the reasons I love having him on the locker. He tells exactly how it is. And Michelle, yes, he will get off after 60 minutes. He won't push it to 3 hours because I'm gracious with your time. So I don't want to keep you all night. I don't want to be kept all night. Van will be back Thursday. We got another guest host on Tuesday. Then I think Van will be back in full swing after that. So if you guys are enjoying all this co-hosting without Van on here, let Van know he needs to step his game up or we're going to replace his ass. All right? Go check out Michael Bennett over on Just the Cats Radio on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Him and Shannon, the dude, does good work, man. They keep it real just like we do. Go check it out. And as always, appreciate you all for watching. Thank you.